Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry I was being late this morning. I think I need to postpone the live stream, I think, to 9:30, so it's could be consistent every morning when I do it from Monday to Friday. I think 9:30 to 12:30 could be the best optimal time for me to do this live streaming. So I hope that you have a good start in the week. Today topic that I'm going to cover is configure the pricing inside SD. This is also probably the final course that I will be doing for preparation for my SAP SD certification. There will be a couple of units that we are going through today, or at least in the next couple of days, which is using the condition technique in pricing, configure pricing, working with condition rig topics for the appendix. 7 units, and I think there will be a couple of exercise relevant to it too. Let me also enroll to the course. Yeah, it will be only available for only 7 days. It could be a little bit less than I expect. No. Yeah, I don't have any current active enroll practice system, so probably need to open a new one. All right, they could be our training environment for the next 5 days. And probably also need to note the link down, pricing config system. All right, and also the exercise. Okay, there are a lot of languages that have been translated. And okay, I'm going to also note down the S4 2000 exercise, also in the training. So that could be our setup for today, for our first day of the learning journey. From the exercise, we will have 27 exercises in total. I think quite many for a particular course inside the learning journey. Condition for pricing, display the settings, differentiate the important condition technique terms. All right, quite a few. If I were about to plan to do this learning journey till Thursday and do the certification on Friday, then we have 20, let's say at least 24 exercise per day. It could take us like I think six exercise per day to reach it to Thursday. And it also really depends on the duration of exercise. It might vary. Some of those might take longer to do. Some of those may be less. But we will see. Yeah, at least keep in mind that around 6 exercise per day will get us to the deadline of Thursday. Yeah, there will be a couple of things that I need to set up. All right, I think it should be fine now. I think we can move on. Yeah, I think I will just move in to with each exercise, and then if I think there will be a needed explanation from theory, and then I can switch back to that, and we can have a look quickly. So the first exercise we have is the use conditions for pricing. We need to create condition records that include scaled values for the customer. Then we need to test it new records by creating orders and viewing the status. First, we need to access the Fury Launchpad login and create this standard sales order OR. This is our customer sales area, customer reference, and the material and its quantity. There will be an error message being displayed. What is it and what needs to be done to correct that? Moving forward, we are going to create condition record for the material. This is probably the price, I think. Yeah, PR00, which is the condition type for the standard price of the material. Then after maintaining the condition type, we are going to create a new sales order with the standard sales order OR sales area. The sold to party and the material. Then we have some customer-specific scale price condition record for the customer. We still use the same condition type PR00 and keep the validity period like this. And we have a particular scaled. Then we create another type of condition record, which is discount condition record for customer-specific scenarios, also for the same customer, I guess, but this time we have a different scale and applying that by creating a new sales order and set the default values for the user. That could be it for the first exercise. Maybe skimming through a little bit of the theory. So if anyone have been watching the freight charges and agreement inside TM, I think more or less they have some same analogies between pricing procedure and calculation sheet from TM and pricing procedure from SD. We will then have a sales org distribution channel division. Then they will be assigned to a pricing procedure as well as sales document and sold to party to define this. And inside the pricing procedure, we will have a table like a calculation sheet with different condition types, the same charge types which we have seen in TM. PR00 is normally the price of the material itself. We could have some requirement. The KA00 is the discount value. Couple of those. Sorry. And then we could have some other condition types for the head discount, the freight value, and the output tax, Mehrwertsteuer in German. And lastly, we will have the cost discount after applying the output tax based on the net price. And regarding the pricing overview, normally in a sales document, you will have a different multiple items level where you will sell to the customer. The document will then have a predefined pricing procedure. Again, as I said, will based on this combination of sales area, sales document type, and sold to party. You will have then pricing procedure assigned with this particular condition types. Each condition type will be then having an access sequence to its table. For example, the PR0 condition type is using the access sequence PR02. And the PR02 will then have like a list of priorities condition tables which are going to be used. The first priority or in the hierarchy could be then the combination of customer and material. The second one would be price list, currency, material. And the third one, if there is no conditions type have been found in the first two tables, then they will take the pricing only from the material. Doesn't have to be any customer or price list related. Yeah, this is also the chart or the figure which is being displayed here. We have the first condition table, customer material. There would no valid record exist, and therefore they move to the second priority access sequence, which is price list, currency, material. Since they found a valid record, they stop there and take the price from this particular condition table. And from that particular condition table, they will have a particular scale from 1 piece to 100 piece or 200 piece. Then based on the quantity of the sales order item itself, the pricing could be taken from the condition table from that particular scale. Yeah, that could be, I think, overall the pricing procedure or at least the condition technique inside SAP SD. I think more or less not so much different to the calculation sheet and chart types inside TM. There could be, of course, some module specific way of calculating the charges, but more or less still the same. We still have the red table, and here is the red condition tables. And we have the access sequence there. We also have some priority regarding the calculation rules or calculation method. All right, just give me a minute. All right, back. Hope that you can still hear me good now. Then moving to the first task, use conditions for pricing. I will then need to log into the system for the first time. This should be then, what is my training user then? Let's check. My training user is 26, all right. All right, let's go to Theory Launchpad to log into the same. Yeah, I think this time I will. Good questions. I could still prefer to move within the Fury Launchpad then, since sorry, in SAP GUI, because most of the time when checking the configuration, we will stick to SAP GUI to do that in SPRO. And yeah, more or less I will be sticking to SAP GUI, even though it's tradition, but it's the only way to go for consultants. Okay, the first task is done. I have login. Now we are going to create a sales order with this combination. All right, just closing some tabs, and here we go. VA01 OR 1010 1000, which is the standard one where we always do it. This is sold to party 26. The customer reference is 2611. The material I have is P620, 26, 10 pieces. And the requested delivery date is in 1 week. So I am now on the 8th of June. So yeah, 15th of June could be the requested delivery date. I will click on enter. All right, they say that there would be a pricing error. The mandatory condition PR00 is missing. Let's double check this. This is a message. Going directly, if I double click on the items and go to condition tabs, you can see here we have output tax of 10%, the cost discount of 3%, the internal price, but we have no price, material price, so that the output tax and cost discount could be applied. And this is also a mandatory condition PR00. And to do that, we need to go to the transaction VK11 to create a condition type for the material PR00. The combination I could need, let's check. Yeah, I could need the price is based on the material. Let's check the key combination. As you can see here, I have 3 key combination. Either I can create a condition record with this customer material with release status, the price list, or the material itself, which is also the first task we are going to do. So we have sales org distribution channel. I'm going to put the material here, which is the P62026. The price would be then 280. Then I save it. Coming back, I hope that this time we can let me update the pricing, carry out new pricing. Yes. So as you can see, after maintaining the condition price or condition record and updating the sales order, I will now have the price of 280 euros here for the material. 10 pieces would then amount to 2,800. And now the output tax and the cash discount have been applied correctly. All right, let me then save the sales order, I guess. Yeah, let's simply save it. I will note down the sales order number, which is 425. Okay. They want us to create the sales order app without saving. Okay, but I save it either way. So just assume that this should be my sales order after adding the condition record. But I think they do need a different customer reference here. So I can create another one in case later on we need the same stuff. So 2612. Material still remain the same, order quantity 10s. Yeah. Then I will note down the 426 here as my sales order, and the 425 from this one in case we need it. Yeah, as just as a reference. So now we go into create a customer specific price condition. Then I will go to VK11 again. This time I check the customer material with release status, and we will see here P 621.26, and I have a particular scale. So we'll select this material and we go to it could be a scaled above here. Yeah, scaled. You can click on F2, just like me doing here, and go into the scaled. So from one piece is 250, 10, 100, 40, 30. Okay. 240, 100 pieces, and I have 230. That could be then the scaled. And I think I can simply save the condition record. Let's display it again. I will execute this, double click on this, and yeah. What we are going to do now is to test this particular one. Oh no, we still need to create a new condition record, which is a condition type. This time I will head to conditions and create conditions inside this one. Not sure if we have any different, but we will check by testing this time. K007 and key combination, customer with release status. All right, sales octane 10, distribution channel is 10. The customer will be having now is C620 A26. I'm addressing Heidelberg, and I do have a particular scaled. So let's select this one and we go to scaled. From 100 euros, 1,000, 5,000 euros, 235. Okay. Yeah, that could be then 235, 100, 1,000, 5,000. All right. Set this condition record. Now having these two combination, I'm going to create a new sales order. Let's use free launchpad this time, so we are not so old. So two party things still remain the same, 20, A26. The customer reference, I think 2613 could be then. Yeah. Requested delivery date, the material and the order quantity remain the same. P620, 126, 10 pieces. The fun bike. Display the conditions for the order item and note all the conditions that were determined automatically during pricing. Save the order and note down the order number. So if I now go to the conditions of the item level, you can see here, I have 420 euros for per pieces, Why is that? I think because of the scale that we have created earlier. From 10 pieces, we will have the buy good cost 420 instead of 250. And we have a customer discount of 3%. It also based on the net value of the total net order. If I now calculate the condition values now is 2,400 euros, it will be then to the second level of from 1,000 euros. So it's greater than 1,000, but smaller than 5,000. We will have a discount of 3%. And yeah, I think a lot of down payment output taxes remain the same with 10% and cash discount. And this could be my net value in taxes. All right, saving this order, I will note it down 427. The last task is we are going to set the default values for the user and add values for the sale process. Do not change any existing default values. All right. I think only the sales area, which is I need to add this default value. I can do it. Go to settings, default values. Company code is 1010. I need my sales org 1010. Distribution channel 10, division 00. Okay, let's save it. All right, that would be it for the first exercise, 11 tasks. Not really complicated, but at least give you an introduction to how the condition has been used for pricing, how to create ones, how to create those with different combinations, which is mean the condition table, and how they were applied in a new sales order. Right. Do you have any questions so far? Yeah, I think just simply using the condition pricing is not really hard. I think even in projects, it could be sometimes that we as consultant have already defined the pricing procedure and the condition as requested by the customer. But sometimes when during the projects, when we go live, there was always pricing errors because the condition record has not been maintained. And that is also a common issues. The way to tackle that is then people normally go to directly the sales order that we have created, for example, BA03. Click enter on that and go to conditions. There will be this condition analysis where we'll then go through each of the condition has been configured for the pricing procedure. For example, if I go to PI00, I see exactly from the first condition table of customer and material, and I have directly and condition record has been maintained, and therefore it will take the first condition record and also for others. If they don't maintain, for example, like this condition record is missing, then we don't have any PR02 inside the sales order pricing conditions. For the K007, since we have added those, it will be populated here and also with the amount from scaled. And yeah, that could be how the pricing will be analyzed inside a particular sales order. I think more to that later on when we move on with the next exercise. All right, then I think I will be moving to the next exercise. If you had any questions in between, just drop in the comment. I will check it later on. Second exercise, settings of condition type. So we want to view all types of pricing configuration in customizing, and for this reason, we must know how to access the pricing settings in customizing and view it. All right, we are going to display the technical names. We are going to have the visualization one to make the show key with drop-down list and sort by keys instead of the words. All right, and go to SPO, and in the customizing of the setting for condition type K007, what is the calculation type and scale-based type are assigned to the condition. What effects do these settings have? All right, then since we are already in the system, I will skip the first pass to the second part of the task. Display technical names. Yeah, if you have been here for a while, I think you already know it. Here in my favorite, you can see here I have a lot of favorite transaction, like for example, condition maintenance create chain displayed, and it will then go to directly in transaction like this or create condition or chain condition. So what behind this transaction is that we have an transaction code like VK11, which I have shown you earlier. To display these technical names, we can go to extra settings and display it. So this time you will then have all the technical name of the transaction behind. So yeah, I think for you as a good reference, because sometimes in a new project and you go to the Citrix, you will don't have any all the favorites that you need, and sometimes knowing a couple of transactions code will have you out and go into the configuration or the maintenance transaction really quickly. For example, VK12 is change and VK13 is display. I think one is always create, second is always change, and three is always displayed, or at least the definition in the background. It could vary for others type of transaction if the 1 or 11 has been used, but yeah, seems like we go to VA01 to create a sales order, VA02 to change the sales order. Or what do I have? I think VL01 to create an outbound delivery and VL03 to display an outbound delivery, for example. Then the second thing is to show keys within the drop-down list. Yeah, they want us to have this customizing node. How can I show it to you? For example, if I go to my sales order and region for rejections, yeah, you can see here I have all of the keys displayed: 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2 for poor quality, 0, 3 for too expensive, and I think they have been already configured in the back end. If I go to options, interaction design, visualization one, they have already shown the keys within drop-down list and sort directly by the keys. If I don't select this and we go to the sales order again, you will see then the difference. In the region for rejection, you don't have any keys as in prefix for every regions that we have here. They're all being sorted by alphabetical, and sometimes it's not really the good way to do it, because I think inside an information system, I think every like mostly every reasons, mostly every text, mostly every standard text will be then encoded to a particular code And that is the reason why we work more with the index or the code more than with the text. Yeah, that is, I think, better in information system. The system needs to know which code are they talking about instead of just the text, because it takes too long to read the text. Instead of just reading 00 for something, 001 for bill of service, or 003 for too expensive, for example. And that is also the reason why we want to show every key and sort them by keys. So coming back and going in, go to region for rejections. Yeah, you can see now is being displayed even really sorted in some way of, how could I say it, intuitive. Yeah, in a way of building something really structure. Yeah, I think the structure could be the best word that fit in. All right, then coming to the actual exercise, we go to SPRO, then display the condition type K007. So for this, I will be going to sales and distribution, basic settings, pricing, pricing control, condition table, define condition type. So this could be my my transaction. Not sure if we have the name of the transaction as well. Yeah, V/06. So condition type. If I also add it to my favorite, V/06. Yeah, we will have the same directly go into the transaction instead of you going to SPRO, then going to all the trees level. So it could be really convenient if you know the T code by heart, or at least add it to your favorites. So this is the condition types configuration, and I will be heading for K07, the customer discount that I'm going to have here today. The access sequence is K307, record for access. Not sure what we could have there. Yeah, we have only one, which we have maintained earlier. So coming back here, we have a condition class, which is a discount surcharge. Calculation type is percentage. Data resource is condition technique. Change can be made in the item condition or either delete or amount percentage. All right. The scale-based type, which is value scale B. So they scaled based on the value instead of the quantity, right? It could be also all the scale that it will be then being calculated from, which is gross weight scaled, net weight scaled, volume scaled. So different things that if you need it. And what other things do we have here? Text determination, discount surcharge, internal comment. All right. A couple of settings that we can configure for the pricing condition. What exactly do they need? They need here the calculation type and the scales by type. So regarding the calculation type, it is a percentage. Which means that this condition will be seen as 1, 2%, or 3%, or etc. Yeah, it will not be a discount of 100 euros. It will be not be a discount of 1,000 euros, but it will be then a discount in percentage. And on which ground it will be then defined in the pricing conditions. Secondly, the scale-based type. We have seen it also earlier, which is B, and scale value. So what is this exactly? Before I explain it, I can click on help. Determine how the system interprets a pricing scale in a condition. For example, the scale can be based on quantity, weight, or volume. All right, so as you see earlier, if I go now to the condition type K007, we will see the scale that I have added here. So instead of having unscaled, so we have a scaled here for 100 euros and we have 2%. If 1000, we have 3% discount. So these are the scale that we are going to define for our condition type. And what is this type of the scale? It is a value of the of the base type. Yeah. So scale of a discount will be based on base, which is the net price of the material. And since we have a scaled value, then the scale and discount will be based on base value of the previous conditioned type. For example, PR0, price of material. Yeah, I think to explain that, if you go directly to the sales order again, I can show you around VA03. How does the system having this where's my discount? Do we forgot it? How can we miss a discount? Interesting. This is not the exercise. No. This should be the 4027. This is when we actually have creating the discount. Yeah, you can see here the 3% discount. It is based on the pricing that we have in the previous condition, which is the PR00, since we have 2,400. Checking the condition, 2,400 is bigger than 1,000, smaller than 5,000, then we have a discount of 3%. So yeah, this is the scale base, which is the value base, which is the value of the base condition record, which is mostly the material itself. Yeah, the price of the material itself. How we can configure it is also based on the pricing procedure. I don't want to deep dive really into that, too deep into that for now, because it will buffer you. But yeah, I can also show you quickly. If we go to basic function pricing and go to pricing control, define and assigning pricing procedures, set pricing procedure, set pricing procedures. Yeah. What transaction is this? It should be V/08. All right, coming back then, I will add it to my favorite, V/08. The pricing procedure I have for this sales order is RVAA001. So RVAA01, which is the standard one. If I click on this and go into the procedures, you can see here, first I have my PR00, which is the material price, which is required, which is mean it is an mandatory condition type in this calculation sheet or pricing procedures. And if we go for the customer discount, you can see here, it is optional, it's not required. But if we are going to calculate this, we have a particular requirement is 02. Scrolling to the right side. All right, I don't have anything relevant or reference to the first pricing conditions. Yeah. Which is not a thing that I expected, to be honest. I could expect there could be a reference in this line, reference to the PR00, as we have seen earlier um, in the calculation sheet inside TM, where we'll have a fuel surcharge, and the fuel surcharge is based on the basic freight chart in the first item positioned. But for this customer discount, how can we reference to the first one? Here, I think this should be the one then. At least what I think. No? No. Yeah. Then a little bit confused, to be honest. Yeah. If I go to case 007 again, and if we check, yeah, the calculation type is percentage, it's a discount surcharge. But how do we know that this discount is applying on the surcharge of the price of the material? How do we know it? It is my question for now. Yeah. But yeah, let's see what the solution tells us. It tells us that the discount is calculated as percentage of the value of the item. The discount scaled entries are based on the value of the order item rather than its weight or volume. Yeah, basically what I have shown you here. But regarding that, I do have a questions which I need to answer myself, or at least to ask it to my friend. Okay, let's do it like this. The condition record K007 in SAP pricing. It is being calculated based on the material price, but how do we know that it is being calculated based on the net price of the material? If there's any reference to the previous condition record, I don't see it in a pricing procedure. How do we know exactly that this particular discount is based on the net price of the material, but not on all the condition records inside the same pricing procedure? Yeah, could be interesting to see what ChatGPT will tell us or explain to us. So as I expected, they do have this from tool, but where do we see it? From tool, yeah, from step and two step. Since we don't see it, it will be hard. But yeah, let's see. What could be then? Okay, so we do have this from tool, and But in our case, it's empty. What happens then? I think we just take the previous calculation then. Calculate the percentage condition based on the current condition base value at that point in pricing procedure. All right. So I think it's based on the step. So I think our customer discount is in the step 104. So they will check all the steps previously. We have price and so on. We have sales deal, price group, customer material, so on and so forth. If any of those are maintained, for example, I have 100 euros for the price of the material, and afterward we have a sales deal of 20 euros, then we will have till the step 104, 80 euros left, and the customer discount will be calculated on that if we didn't have any from tool. Checking the order condition record, I think here the discount from the gross points, I think it being calculated from the 100. So they will have the from step, which is 100, the price amount. The discount amount they're having from the 101. All right, so really interesting, yeah. It could be also applied like this. And factoring the discount tax. This is a discount tax, not on the discount of the material price itself. So it being calculated based on the factoring discount. Yeah, simply as that. Yeah, I think at least in this pricing procedure, at least the customer discount should be based on the PR00. And in our particular example, since we have only PR00 maintained, then it goes directly to the customer discount. So the net value of the order when the customer discount is being taken into consideration is 2,400. Then 3% will be calculated based on that. Since we don't have any condition record maintained between. So yeah. All right. At least thanks as ChatGPT. You helped me a lot. Then I think that would be it for the second exercise. Do you have any questions in between? Let me quickly check. Yeah, I think regarding the settings of the condition type, we have not deep dive really deep into every mean of the condition type. There could be also others like currency conversion accruals used for varying configuration, invoice list condition, and so on. Hope that we can deep dive to that in the later exercise, but at least for now, we know the basic. What are the two main components inside condition type? I think first will be the condition class, how they will be then assigned to a particular group. And what is the calculation type, percentage or something? And the scale-based value, they don't need to know how they will take the scale into consideration. All right. Good bit for the second exercise. Then we move next to the third exercise. Differentiate the important condition technique terms. As a member of project team that is implementing SAP system, you have been given the task of examining the options for configuring pricing to meet customer requirements. In pricing, which objects store the condition types and sequence in which these condition types are executed. Yeah. It is a pricing procedure, as I told you earlier. The pricing procedure is the sheet which store all the condition record and the sequence, which is the step number, when this condition record will be taken into consideration. Which criteria influence the determination of the pricing procedure during pricing? To check that, I go back to SPRO again. And I go to sales and distribution, to basic functions, pricing and pricing control. I think to defining and assigning the pricing procedure. I think check this determination, for example, the RVA00, which we have seen earlier. We have a sales org of 1010, distribution channel, division, yeah. So these are the five combinations, the 5 field combinations, which determine the pricing procedure. We have sales area, which is the sales org, plus distribution channel and division. Second one is the document pricing procedure, and the third one, which is customer pricing procedure. To do it not so theory, I will put some example here of sales org 1010, division 10, and 00 as division. The document pricing procedure, which is A in this case, we need to check that. What is the customer document pricing procedure? And the customer pricing procedure is 1. Where to check this going back once. We have here this set customer pricing procedure and set document pricing procedure. For the document pricing procedure, I have A, which is standard. And assigning document pricing procedure for the order types. Then I will go to OR for my sales order type. You can see here, this is my document pricing procedure. So each of the sales order type that will have a particular document pricing procedure. So OR has been assigned to a document pricing procedure. For the customer, where do we check this customer pricing procedure? Just one thing back, we have first check the values. We have 01 pricing procedure 01, pricing procedure 02, and of course others pricing procedure if needed standard, sales org with gross weight smaller than 20. So more or less you don't really need to understand what is what is in customer pricing procedure, but you need to know the purpose of the field. It is simply that, for example, you could have a pricing procedure and you want it to apply to different sales areas. For example, sales area in Germany, sales area in Germany, but within the plant in Bayern, within a plant in Berlin. Those are the sales area which is being defined as the first component in the combination. Secondly, even within the sales area in Germany in Bayern, I do have a lot of different type of documents, sales document. For example, if I have an express sales order, if I have a normal standard sales order, if I have a return, so all of this sales order type would then have a particular index. They would call it document pricing procedure so that they can assign every sales order type with that category to this index, and then they will have then a little bit of more control which pricing procedure will be used eventually. And finally, or thirdly, the last component is the customer. For example, if I have really big customer, they pay really well, they pay on time, like BMW, or just for example, or Mercedes-Benz, of course, why don't I mention it? VW, okay, Skoda, and every other's Audi. They are really big customer. They're really well paid. They pays a lot of money on time and have really big volume order. We will then have a particular customer pricing procedure to differentiate between different types of customer. For example, if the customer are really BMW, Mercedes-Benz, or Audi, then I will have an discount of 5 or 10%. I will define it in my pricing procedure, and with this kind of customer pricing procedure, I will have then more control of how the pricing procedure will then be determined. Regarding the assignment of the customer, we don't see it here since we only see the assignment of document pricing procedure to order types and billing types, but we don't have any customer. To check that, we do need to go to the transaction PP to check our particular customer. For example, C120 A26. This is our customer Amadeus in Heidelberg. And if I go to the customer row and go to sales and distribution, you can see here I have plenty of information regarding the price group and the customer pricing procedure, which is one standard. This is important for you to know. I don't know about the price group, the bulk buyer and the wholesales. It could be used in other components or functionality inside pricing in other stuff within SAP SD. But at least for now, for the pricing procedure determination, we will then need the customer pricing procedure, which has been assigned in the transaction PP of the customer itself. Secondly, the document pricing procedure, which has been also assigned in the backend together with the sales org, where they have the sales org determined here. Sales org, distribution channel, and division. Yeah. Oh, okay, I forgot that we have also the last task in the third exercise. Which pricing element is used to control the pricing so that you can specify that a customer specific price rather than material price be used during automatic pricing? Which pricing element? I think this is access sequence. Yeah. Yeah, I think the access sequence, you haven't seen it so far, but it's actually really connected to a condition record. For example, I would take the discount, for example, K007. We have this access sequence K307, customer with release status. And how do we check this access sequence? Because when checking the price, the discount price, you can see here, I have three different rows or three different options that the discount can be taken from: the 010, 020, and 030. And each of those represent a condition table behind where the condition record has been saved. how or which priority has been taken into consideration for the condition record is being determined by the access sequence. Here we have 010, which is we always checking the customer with release status, 020 and 030. The same for the price. We have 4 different condition tables. The first one is always customer material combination. Second one is price list, currency material. Third one the same. And the fourth one is only material itself. So this is the access sequence that has been taken. And to see how exactly the access sequence has been determined, I think we need to go to SPRO again. Go to sales and distribution, basic functions, pricing control, and access sequence. And if I go to, for example, the pricing for proceed access sequence for PR00, I will be using PR02. This is the price with release status. I'm going to select this and go to access. You see here all the tables which are available for my condition type. First, they check the combination of customer material. Secondly, they check price list. Thirdly, same. And finally, in the last step, if none of the above condition record has been found, then they will resort to this table with material only. Then how the table number has been defined is also a really good question. I think I can ask myself where the table has been used. What is this optimal access? Okay, this is the access where the condition type has been assigned to an access sequence. All right. Where to check the condition tables? Yeah, I think this is a condition table. For example, I can create the table name. What was it again? We have seen some of the table, for example, PR02. I have the table 305, combination of price, customer, and material. And if we go to display this table, you'll see here all of the technical fields that are behind. Of course, they will need the validity periods, they will have a release status, they will have a sales org, distribution channel, customer, and material. So these are the selected fields which will be then taken into consideration for a particular table. They will need all of these 4 fields to assign a value to a record. Of course, we have all the fields relevant inside SD, the description, the technical name, the global field name, for example, customer condition group, delivery time, I think departure country, I think Abgang lands, and destination country, receiving land is really important. Yeah, these are also really deep in the table number. Normally, I think in projects you could possibly need to define a new table number and then assign it to an access sequence. Then from the access sequence, you will need to assign it to a condition type. and then condition type you will be then assigned to pricing procedures. So I will note it down like that for you in case you have questions. All right, then I think that could be a third exercise. Even though they should simply ask the questions, I have explained all the things for you and also show you what is configuration in the backend, how to interpret it. I hope that is helpful and have you give you more control or insights in the pricing technique in SAP SD, because more or less we don't answer this question projects. We need to know where, how, and what to configure in the system, depend on the customer requirement. All right. Then I think the target could be then having each day 6 exercise. We have already done 3 of those. Yeah, I think 3 more to go. The topic that we are going to have is adjusting existing order conditions, enter header conditions, and examine the effect of pricing types. Yeah, let's have a quick pause of give me 5 minutes. Yeah. We are now at 4:40. Then we back at 10:50 a.m. Yeah, I need some pause. Otherwise, I cannot function. I probably need a new tea. Then we are going to tackle the next 3 exercise. Yeah, I think we are quick with this. I think we can finish even more than 6 exercise per day. Let's try to do the more that we could, so we can save time for the next other days. Maybe we could finish this even earlier than Thursday. If I have 3 hours dedicated for the live stream each morning, then I think we can tackle it. All right, then see you in 5 minutes then. All right, the 5 minutes are quicker than I thought. Just need to grab to a new coffee before moving on. Otherwise, because the tea is not strong enough for me for this session. I think we have 1 hour and a half more to go and 3 exercises left. I think we can tackle a lot more, I think, today. Even, I guess, up to 10 exercises. We will see. All right. Let's continue. Exercise 4. Adjusting existing order condition. As a member of the project team that is implementing SAP, our task is to examine the pricing configuration options in SAP system and provide the solution for the customer. Occasionally, a sales representative needs to manually adjust the pricing in an order. Could be that they have a discount for the customer so that they can get the customer to place the order more easily, and they can add the conditions and change conditions that will determine automatically at the item level of the order, and we are going to execute it today. Let's first creating a standard sales order. And this is the customer reference 0203. Okay. Now we'll go back to SAP GUI and we go to VA01. Go to OR, sales org 10101000, and the social party. I think remain the same customer, only different customer reference 2603, 2623. Requested delivery date in 1 week, and this is the material. So the same, but 10 pieces. All right. Go to the item condition screen and manually add the quantity of discount of 10 euro per piece. Use the condition type RC00. Sorry. Sorry for that. I hope that it doesn't blow your how do they call it, Lautsprecher? Yeah. I hope that it doesn't blow your speaker with my sniff. No. Yeah. Sorry for my broken English, but yeah, let's move on. Go into the condition. This is my conditioned record. We have the price, the customer discount of 3%. I'm going to discount per piece of 10 euros. This is the quantity discount. So since we have 10 pieces, they will sum up to 100 euros for the sales order. And I'm going to change the customer discount rate K007 to 4%. So it will be the 96 euros. And on the item condition detail screen for K007, can you determine whether or not the condition has been added manually? You can see it. If I go to the details, we have the 4% condition basis, condition value. Yeah, this has been assigned as change. If we check the previous sales order, the 4027, and go to the discount, this K07 of 3%. If I click on that, you see here, there has been no tab about whether the condition record has been changed manually or not. But in this particular new one, we have changed manually, like say tips or something that let us know that, hey, please be cautious. This condition has been changed manually and not being taken automatically from the pricing procedure itself. It should be then 3%, but someone has changed it manually to 4%. Yeah, price condition control, see change manually here instead of a automatic pricing or yeah, automatic pricing, condition origin or condition control. Adjust for quantity variance. All right, that could be it then. I think I'm going to save this sales order. Yes, in the condition control, change from A to C, which means change manually. In the item data screen, determine the manually changes values on the item data screen. Okay, item data screen. What is this item data screen? Oh yeah, this is the item data screen. Determine the manually change values. Yeah, I think it changed to 96 euros instead of the previous one. I think that could be the one. And save the document number, I think 428. Yeah, 428. I will note it down here for the next exercise if we need to be using it. On the item data screen, determine the manual change values. Okay, I'm going to display again, go to item data. To be honest, I don't think that we have any determine the change values. Yeah, I think this is now 96 instead of 72. I think would be it then for the discount. Yeah, let's check the solution. The first one, I probably don't need it. On the item conditions, condition control field will be set to C if the condition has been charged manually. On the item screen, determine the manually changed values. Select condition type, select K07 and condition details. Yeah, this is changed manually. So yeah, nothing much. Yeah, determine the manual change values. Yeah. All right, really quick exercise where we know how to change an existing order conditions when it has been determined automatically, how we can adjust this. Moving to the next exercise 5, enter the header conditions. when pricing conditions apply to all the items in an order, this condition can be entered in the header of the order. You need to test how the header conditions are entered and how they are distributed among the line items in the sales document. All right. So earlier we always have conditions based on the item, either the material, the discount. Now we are going to have conditions on top of every item position, which is the header level. Let's see how we can tackle it. First, we're going to create a sales order to the same customer with this customer reference and with 2 material this time. Each will be then 10 pieces, right? V01, same customer, the reference should be then 2246, material of 10 pieces. The second material, so 10 pieces. Go to the condition tab of the order header and create 2 discount manually. On the header screen, enter the HB00 for the condition type with a rate of -100 and condition type RB00 with a rate of 100 euros. Okay. Then instead of going to each item position individually, I'm going now to display the header details and go to conditions. Here, instead of saying the price for each material, I will see the price for both of the material in their own quantity, which is the price of the sales order, the total. So now I'm going to add 2 different discounts. The first one is HB00, 100 euros. And the second one is RB00, also 100 euros. Okay. The first one, I don't see it applied, but the second one, I see it. I don't see any changes here. Why is that? Yeah, to the first item position, I can see the discount of 100 euros for the first item. I see the discount, the HB00 of 43 euros to the second position. I will still have the discount of 100 euros and the discount value will be then 56 euros. All right, so both of those have the same discount RB00, which is 100 euros, but the HB00, it varies, but I think it's total to 100 euros. All right, one more thing I want to check is that why in the header. Yeah, okay, now I think it's been updated. The discount value is now 200 euros and the HB0 is now 100 euros. Okay, let's then save this thing for 29 order. Do we have any explanation for this within an exercise? No, they don't explain anything about that. So it's really poor regarding the explanation. I think with this exercise, it will be really hard for you to go into projects and saying, hey, I know this condition type PR00 and I know this condition type HB00. I have created those, but I don't understand anything about this. So let's just have a look and deep dive more about it. Regarding the header, I think when adding this RB00, we have a discount of 100 euros and we have 2 pieces of material, then it will multiply by 2. The second discount, even though it's also on the header, but this is the total discount for the sales order. So we have 100 euros and it will has been split by the 2 sales items. How can I explain it to you then? Let's just first check the 2 condition types. First with the RB00. This is a discount that we would have. And this is the header condition. All right. And let's open up a new sub GUI and we will compare this to the HP00. Also the discount, also the fixed amount is an header condition, but it's not an item condition. So this is probably the what make the difference. Yeah. I change which can be made. Okay, change which can be made. Yeah. This is a group conditioned HP00. And this is not a group condition. So this should be then the difference between these 2 condition type. To really understand it, I probably also need to check the pricing procedure behind. Let's just go into pricing procedures and go to RVA001. The discount value is manual only. And where is the HB00? It's also the discount only. Yeah. They have a particular counter. I don't know what the counter means, but yeah, I think the only difference here, that one is item with pricing, and the below we don't have any. Yeah, still really hard to explain. How can this how to explain in the back end what is the difference between these 2? I mean, yeah, the difference we have already see that the RB00 is applying on the header level of the whole sales order, and based on the different sort of material or item position that we have in the sales order, since in this time we have 2 different line items. Each of those will be have a discount of 100 euros, and then in total we have 200 euros for the RB00. The HB00, it will remain 100 euros, but in the item condition, it will be split for the 2 materials. And how they are splitting, why the first one have 43 euros. How they're calculating it is a different story. Let me also put on the calculator. For that, I think for you to be able to see my screen, I also need to change the screen sharing. Going to share the whole screen. Yeah, hope that you can see my calculator also. All right, with this, we are going to calculating the 100 euros. So for the first one, I will have then 2,400, and the second one is 3,100, then 5,500,240 divided by 550. I will have then 34.63. Yeah, percent. And if I add it by 100, we will land by around 43 euros. Yeah, and I think this is also the condition value that we have here. I might guess it might be based on the condition value. It may be based on the gross weight. Let's also check the gross weight of this tool. The gross weight of the first material is 1,025. Then I think they have the same gross weight. And I think the only difference is the net value of the price of the material itself. Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to also calculate after the discount. All right. Then maybe for the first position, I would have 2,400. So note it down. For the first material, after discount, I would have 2,428. Second material, after discount, I would have then should we have this then? After the second discount, yeah, even I think our discount, let's check the pricing procedure, where exactly it will be taken into consideration. The HP00, let's just check. The HP00. Yeah, there's no step, which means that it will be taken from the above or the latest price. Then I will be taking, sorry. Then I will be taking the price after both discount. Then for the first item positioned, it could be then this net value 2228 as my net value, not 2328, but 2228. And for the second position, the net value of before the HP00 is taken into consideration is 2907. And if we are now calculating the distribution amount, 2228 plus 2907, that could be total net value after two discounts, then 5135. And if for the first item positioned, I would take this account 2228 divided by this one, then we will be at 43.38. If we multiply it by 100 euros, we will have then an distributed condition value of 34 39 euro, which is exactly the condition value that we have here. So it's not basically based on the condition value that we have for the material. It is based on the net value of the above price. So after the net value has been deducted by customer discount, after that has been deducted by the discount value on the header level, then this net value of 2228 euros will be then taken as a base value for the discount, and it will be calculated based on the distribution with all the item position inside the same sales order. So yeah, I think this is the explanation which you are going to give your customer and also all the consultants in the same project, how these two fields can be calculated. Even though we use 2,400 divided, or let me first add it up with 31,000, we see the number and we multiply it by this. Yeah, I think the 43.64 euros will be really close to our discount of 43.39 euros. It is like, I think, only 20 cents different. But imagine in a really big enterprise, only the two comma digits, if you have a difference on that, it will result in a really big number, really big number. And I'm only saying because I have a condition net value now only for 2,000 euros. When you have a sales order with a really high big volume, it will vary. Yeah, it will vary a lot. So yeah, I think I'm happy with my explanation for now, based on how the discount is distributed to different item positions. If we go to analysis, I'm not sure if they are going to explain that. First, with RB00, the header condition enter manually, and with 8B00, yeah, I think the same. No explanation here. It just say header condition enter manually. Um, the only one main thing that I want to check is how these two conditions varies. Yeah, there need to be something in the back end that distinguish these two different condition types. I think this is a group condition. Yeah. The group condition means that this condition then will be shared with all other condition types in the same sales order. And this was just simply being used individually for every item positioned for the RP0. The HP0, since it's a group condition, it means that every condition item position inside the sales order will share the total amount. I hope that there will be this somehow explained here in the theory. No, not particular here. Using it, mass maintenance it, yeah. Using a report, yeah. Specs or pricing functions, yeah. Group conditions, I think there should be then what behind it. Yeah, I want to check something in between with. Yeah, they are talking about some of the spectral condition types here, like the median price, graduate price, hierarchy discount, discount surcharges. Hmm. Statistic condition types, yeah, they still don't tell me about the group condition, yeah. Which is the thing that I think that we are needed right now. Counter field in the pricing consider impact of the counter field in the pricing procedure. You can see here, I have RA01 discount from net, discount from gross, absolute discount, weight discount. Okay, the RB00, the previous value is 1000. RB00 is absolute discount of 100 euros. Okay. Yeah, okay, so they are the same step, but the counter means that which take then the priority. Yeah, I think it should be a group condition. Yeah. What is the group condition inside SAP pricing configuration? And can you explain the difference between the RB00, the discount value, and the HB00 discount value inside SAP? I think there also the discount which is applied on the header level of the sales order, but somehow the RB00, it is being an absolute value being applied for every item position in the sales order. On the other hand, the HB00 is being distributed among the item position inside the sales order, where I can check this configuration in the back end. Yeah, I think I need to resort to my friend to explain this to me. Let's see why they answered so fast. Yeah, group condition means that the SAP does not calculate the condition independently for each item. Instead, it considers a group of items together and then distribute the result back to the items. Yeah, we found it in the condition type group condition, as you can see here. The difference between RB00 and HB00 is that we have this particular group condition. An attribute of condition that control how a calculation method is applied to multiple items of a business document. By default, during pricing, the system processes one item independently of other items. If this attribute is set, a group condition is defined. The system processes a group of items together in the following way. For item condition, the system calculates the base value. For example, the calculation of a scale base as an accumulation of the values of the individual items. Okay. So I think as a scale we see earlier, for example, with the scale, we have, yeah, I think it's explained this this accumulation here. For example, we have a condition record K005, the group condition routine is 3. Then if there were then added the quantity of the two materials, and it will be then add up to 10, and they will be taken the 15 euros and the 20 euros instead of 8 and 5 euros, for example. I think that is the first example of how the group condition is going to be interpreted. The other thing is not only the calculate the discount based on the total value or the total quantity of multiple items. Secondly, is going to distribute and hand a discount across various items. Yeah, this is an important part that distinguish between the RB00 and HB00. Yeah, so in a group condition, then SAP will then distribute the any condition, for example, had a discount to it to its item positioned. All right, perfect. Then I think exactly what I could expect before. I just need some validation or confirmation, but since we are now clear, yeah, for header conditions, a manually entered condition is distributed to all items. A routing different adjustment is automatically applied to item with the highest value. All right, perfect. Then, yeah, basically we could have also a group condition routine like this, overall document, material pricing group, and so on. I think that could be then the routine, which normally a developer would then go inside and create some new routines and apply to it. For our particular case here, it's simply an easy configuration. We just select the group conditions, then the discount value on the header level will be distributed among the item position inside the sales order instead of multiplying the conditions based on the number of item position that we have in the same sale order. Yeah, that could be the perfect explanation for it. So instead of going to the header conditions, the RB00 will be then multiplied by the number of item positions, and the HB0, it will remain the same and distributed among the item position. Just like this, yeah. Even though a really small exercise, but yeah, with the explanation and everything that come with it, I think it's really helpful exercise that we really needed within the projects. Otherwise, others will not understand it. Right. I hope that it gives you some value instead of just going through the exercise and do what exactly they told you without you understand anything in the back end. Yeah, that could be it for the fifth exercise. I hope that you have learned something new. Just let me also open a new poll regarding, do you know how to distribute yeah, you can answer it in between if you have understood how the distribution of the header conditioned into the item positions. Yeah. Yeah, one more thing that I wanted to check is that how is the distribution logic defined based on net value of items, gross weight, or volume of the item. Where do I see define the logic? Yeah, also interesting thing. Yeah, even though I have explained to you that based on this current setup, the distribution is based on the net value of the previous step. So inside the sales order, we have the price of the first position, and the discount HB00 is being calculated based on the net value. So after the price deducted by the two discount, we have this value. This will be then taken into consideration for the distribution amount. So yeah, this is based on this one. But what I want to see is that is there any possibility that we as consultant can configure the way that, hey, I want the distribution amount to be not on the net value, but based on, for example, the gross weight of the material. So for that, the 10 and 20 could have then the same discount of 50 euros, for example. So where to check that? So the HB00, the standard distribution, is usually based on the item net value, not the gross weight or volume. Okay. Where is it defined? The group conditioned. Okay, so they say that the group condition routines, for example, I think it really will vary in the projects if we look into it more closely. So I think even though we don't have any group condition routine for now for this condition route type HB00, it will be used, I think, hectic or really massive in the project at the OEM, where they have their own a lot of their own logics. Um, yeah, I cannot select anything because of this calculation type. So yeah, I think I would just leave it for now without trying anything. The other thing is I want to tell you is that in the group condition routine, it will then, I think, taking all the conditions items inside the sales order. They will base on any ideas like the product hierarchy, surcharges, and so on, to take into consideration whether how they group this um, all the items into this condition type. So the group condition routine is not the distribution basis. Yeah, it's indicator the active active group behavior. It just define how the items are grouped together. It means that, okay, I will not take every items in the sales order into consideration for this condition record. I would just take couple of those, like I take only the discount, I take only the material price, I take only the freight charges into consideration for the group condition. Yeah, so that is a routine, but it's not the distribution logic. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think that they are using an alternative condition base value for that, and then they are going to activate the group conditions and so on. And afterwards, they are not going to calculate it based on the net value. All right, maybe a little bit far away from our actual topic today, but at least that I have delivered the exercise and explained to you how you should explain it, or a way of explaining it to your customer, how the header conditions are maintained, how they are being interpreted into the item position, either distributed or not distributed based on the group conditions being defined in the backend, and how can you calculate the distribution amount inside it. All right, a really interesting exercise. I really like it because I think more or less in the projects where I do the integration in the projects right now, I'm doing the SD integration to financial accounting, but it's not the normal one since the SD is within a logistic template, an SAP client, and the financial accounting is a different client, so a different SAP system. So they are communicating based on some PIPO and customized APUP report, and it involves a lot of debugging and knowing the technical field. So yeah, when I focus on that, I miss couple of standard configuration in SAP pricing. For example, this group conditions where I have seen sometime in the projects, but I don't know what exactly is doing in the back end, or how it then influence how a particular position is being calculated within a sales order. So yeah, that could be something that really helpful for me in the next upcoming projects, or even within the projects right now that I'm doing. When I come back from my injury, then I will be more fit to that. All right, so another hour went through. It's really quick that even with the two small exercise, it cost me that 1 hour just to adjust the order conditions and enter the header conditions. I think I have really spent a lot of time here, but I think it's worth it. And we will have now a quick pause before we move to the exercise 6, examine the effect of pricing types. And yeah, we will see how many exercise we will tackle before 12:30. All right, so see you. I think this time let's do a 10 minutes pause. Um, yeah, or 7 minutes. Yeah. All right, coming back. Sorry for that. I think I do need long pause that I needed for each of the pause in between. Yeah, 3 hour lives. And I think I do need for every 50 to 1 hour, 10 minutes of pause before moving on. So yeah, I think we have about 30 minutes to finish off our third live stream, or at least our first official one. With exercise 6, examine the effects of pricing types. What we could have here, the basic example we have is that in our business environment, the prices of many materials change frequently. We need to verify how we can adjust the pricing during the billing to meet the varied requirements. First, we check the copying control for tables to locate the pricing type field and examine the effect on pricing during billing. All right, seems complicated. Not sure what they are about, but we will see. Step by step. First, create the first sales order. Let me also close all this before we having too much to handle. All right, going to VA01. The customer is still the same. Customer reference right now should be 2625. Requested delivery date, same material, and 10 pieces. 126 again. Yeah, 126. The fun bike, 26. This time we need to enter the manual discount at item level by using the condition type C00 for rate of 100 euros. At the item level, okay. Then I go to item condition C00 100 euros. Then we have the discount for each pieces 100 euros. Okay. Then we'll then add up to 1000 euros, which is quite a lot. Yeah, I think even half of the price. And I'm now saving the sales order. I think for 31 is our sales document number. We're now creating an outbound delivery for this order. Pick the inquiry entity and post a good issue. Use the 1010 as the shipping point and the current date plus 10 days as a selection date. Since we haven't requested delivery date in 7 days, so I think the current dates plus 10 days should be then efficient to cover the date. So I'm now going to create deliverer plus 10 day, which is 18. Yeah, we should able to see this. And I think we don't have any EWM for this one. We don't have any warehouse number. So then we can easily pick the quantity manually for 10 pieces and post a good issue. So this is my delivery number. Next, we are going to create an invoice for this outbound delivery number, but do not save it. Wait until you are told to do so. What is the billing type is used by default. All right, if I'm going to create this billing, yeah, this is my document number. If I click on enter, so you see the invoice type is F2. The net value is 1,228 euros. F2, billing type with 1,382 euros as net value. So this is the current setting that I have. I will not save it and just go back and do what we need to do now. We need to examine the pricing details in the invoice and determine the condition that were used to arrive at the net price. Okay, then I do need to go back one more time. Let's check the conditions. So I have the price. I have the discount of 3% and have the discount of 1,000 euros for the quantity discount. Yeah, which is basically it. And this result into the net value of 1,328 euros, and the tax is 10%. the total amount that the customer needs to pay us is 1460. All right. So update the pricing and carrying out the new pricing for the item by using the pricing type B, carry out new pricing. All right, interesting. Why do we need to do it? Don't know. But yeah, let's carrying out the new pricing. I think if we're carrying out the new pricing, the discount quantity will be then will then disappear because the quantity discount is something that we have entered manually in the sales order item. It has been copied to the billing document, but if we are now carrying the new pricing, it should then disappear. As you can see now, I don't have any of the quantity discount, only the 3% discount from the pricing procedure, which resound to 2328 as a net value. So more 1,000 euros more. It goes up 1,000 euros since the quantity discount is now no more available. What caused this to happen? Since the RC00 is copy from the sales order to the billing document, if the pricing is being triggered newly, then the copy data will be erased. Save the invoice and note the document number. Okay, I don't know why they make us to do this, but okay. So this should be then the invoice number that we have. We can also display it and go inside. This is the net value without the discount at item position. In customizing, look at the pricing type field in the copying control table for the F1 and F2 billing types. View the entries for these billing documents when they are created with reference to LF delivery document and time item category. Note your findings. All right. The pricing type field in the copying control table. So it could mean that it's not being copied from the sales order, but delivery. Yeah. I think from copy from sales order, copy to delivery, and then from delivery, copy to billing. Could be then the whole document flow. Because if we check the document flow from the invoice now, you see that I have the standard order with a reference value of 1328. With a discount, of course, it will be then copied to the delivery with these items. I don't think we have any condition value for now in the about delivery, but this will be then copy all to the invoice, and the invoice will have then also the discount of 1,000 euros to 1328. But since we're carrying now the new pricing, it will then erase the copy data from the sales order forwarded to the delivery. So what we are going to do now is we need to check the copying control. We'll go to SPRO, go to sales and distribution, probably basic functions and copying routine. Do we have it here? Otherwise, should be then in billing. Billing document, copying control for billing documents. From delivery document to billing. My billing type is F2. And my delivery type, let's check. Yeah, the billing type is F2, but the delivery type, if I go to the handle level of the about delivery, I go to administration. The delivery type is LF. So this should be the one. We have here the assignment number, reference number, and the copying requirement. And if I select the items, Yeah, item. We also have an item, which is item category 10 TAN. So looking for TAN, double click on that, and we see the copying requirement is delivery related item, the invoice split sample, the billing quantity, the pricing type. This should be the one that we should look for. Pricing type is G. What does this mean? It means that copy the price element unchanged and redetermine tags, which means that when creating a billing document, the price of the material will be then copied from the about delivery to the invoice. We're not carrying the new pricing, we're just simply copying every price element unchanged. And therefore, we still have the RC00 when first creating the invoice. Yeah. What is this pricing type? So go to copy control from LF to F2, item category TAN. The price type is G, which means copy every pricing element unchanged, which is also the reason why RC0 copy from sales order to about delivery and then to invoice F2. I think the same could apply for the F2 invoice. Let's see. Go to header again, and if we see the F1 and LF, and we go to items, go to TAN, we have a pricing type which is C. So copy manual price element and redetermine others. The price elements, all right, interesting. So let's see if we are going to create this with F1 billing types. First, maybe we can double check that by going to the invoice. This time I'm going to cancel this billing document. Yeah, I want to reproduce what we have done earlier and see what could happen if we are using the invoice type F1. So if you see now, I go to invoice and document flow. So the invoice has been canceled. I am now allowed to create a new invoice for this particular outbound delivery. I go to VF01. I copy the outbound delivery as you see here. If I don't select the invoice type, it will be automatically use F2, and then we copy every price element unchanged. I think, yeah. Yeah, the Z2 would then use a price type G, copy price element unchanged, and return my taxes. And I think for the F1, I think still the same, because the price element we added is the RC1000, and it's also the manual price, and we are copying it manually. But yeah, we can have a look. Let me go back. Instead of creating with F2, I need to manually select F1 and create the invoice. Yeah, maybe do it one more time. F1. As you can see here, even with the F1, I also have the pricing, the RC00 being copied unchanged because it's a manual price. If I update this with a new pricing, it will then vanish or disappear, which is what we expected, same as F2. Yeah, could be it for this exercise. We examine the effect of the pricing types. inside the copying control from the about delivery to the billing document. Let's quickly check the solution. I think it also means the same. They say that, yeah, C is copying manual pricing elements and retain those remaining. And for F2, we are using G, copy price element unchanged and retain my taxes. So doesn't explain it, but I think it's more intuitive. Yeah, it's intuitive enough for you, for us to understand. So that could be it for exercise 6. I hope it's clear to you. Do you have any questions in between? Okay, seems like not. Then I think we simply move on with exercise 7 and could call it a day. Yeah. Moving to exercise 7, examine the pricing elements. To meet the pricing demands of your business, identify user control fields within each pricing element. You can view the various control fields in the pricing procedure, condition type, access sequence to learn what control is possible at each level. All right, I think this is really cool to have this exercise to be a consultant. Yeah. First, how can you control whether a condition is determined during the automatic pricing or whether the condition is entered manually? Good question, those. Go to the item positions, double click on the conditions record. If the condition control is status is C, then it's been entered manually. Otherwise, mostly A. For example, if we go back to the first sales to the last sales order that we created with this condition type RC00, it is a manual. It's a condition which is entered manually. We can check it by double click on that, and we see the condition control is changed manually. Condition origin is also C, manually entered, and we see also here the identifier that has been changed manually. Instead of orders, for example, if we have the price, you see here the condition control is A, adjust for quantity variance, and condition origin is A, automatic pricing, instead of manually. Secondly, how can you configure a condition type so that it can no longer be edited manually in the document? Interesting. How can we do that? I think we need to go to the condition type, because, for example, if I now create a new sales order with VA01, I create everything the same, just ein test, and we edit the order only one pieces. I can go to the conditions and I can edit the price manually, for example, 300. Then the customer discount and everything related to that will then be updated other than 250. So to not allow the user to change the price manually, I think we need to go to the configuration of condition type. So V/06 condition types. I will go then to PO00, PR00, and change which can be made. If I deselect this, what could then happen? Let's do it one more time. go inside to conditions. I can still change the order. Okay, so I go to select the item conditions, what it is. Mark this field if the condition of this side are allowed to be entered in the document items. Okay, so yeah, it is allowed to edit in the item conditions, but since the manual entries has priority, I want to not possible to process manually. Let's see if we can make a change for it. So if I now go to create a new sales order again, and we go to the item conditions, this time I still do have the possibility of changing the price manually. We still have the 250 euros here for the first condition. Then I think something feels off regarding this. Not possible to process manually. Yeah, I think it should be then enough. Should I go out and go back again for this to be valid? Yeah, maybe let's just check this VA01. Material 10 pieces. And we'll double click to go to conditions. Okay, as you now can see, the price now had no options to edit this manually. As you can see here, this is being grayed out. We have no possibility to change it now. All right, so it means functionally that I need to go way out of the transaction so the change can take effective. What happens now if we go to PR00 and go to, I will select this as C, manual entry to be processed manually, has priority, but I don't enable the item conditions. What would then happen? It means that, yeah, I can make change to the transaction. The manual entry has priority, but I'm not allowed it to be changed in the header conditions. I'm not allowing it to be changed in the item condition. I don't think that there's any possibility that this can be changed. We can test it again. Ten pieces, and we go inside conditions. Okay, so I can still edit the amount here. Okay. We do have some discrepancies how this configuration will then affect the pricing procedure, pricing logic. If we in the back end we allow the manual entries and it says priority, we can still somehow edit the price manually in the order items. But since we are not allowing it to be edited neither in the header condition nor in the item condition, we are still be able to change the value manually, but it will not be accepted via an error message, which says item condition PR00 is not allowed as item conditions, which means it cannot be changed. So if we remain it to the 240, it is now being allowed. So really interesting. So two possibilities. Either the manual entries change to D, which means not processed manually. Then item conditioned record is gray out, Or the second possibility is that we not allowed to change at position level. So with this configuration, the line item is not gray out, but give an error message and still not allowed. Yeah, that could be it. Really interesting. Yeah. How can you configure a condition type during customizing so that only discount condition records and not records using surcharge can be entered? Only discount condition records and not yielding surcharge can be entered. This is related to a condition type. Can be entered, you mean entered manually, right? So regarding a condition record like this, just allowing it now. I don't quite sure understand about what does the yielding surcharge mean regarding the customizing here. Not the yielding surcharge. What condition type is surcharge? Let us see. Do we have a yielding surcharge here? Specs as surcharge. Yeah, let's see. But it is delete. So yeah, it's still being entered manually, and the manual entry has priority. We can edit it in the item conditions. Yeah, basically the same as the one we see earlier with discount. So yeah, I think I will need a solution for that. Next access sequence is assigned to the condition type PR00. Regarding the access sequence PR00, we have an access sequence of PR02. This is what we checked earlier. Yeah, which condition table are used by the access sequence PR02? If we check this, no, it will not show us the table, but we need to go to SPRO, go to the backend, sales and distribution, basic function, pricing control. We will then set the access sequence. This should be the transaction to go to. It is the V/07. Going to also edit here. V/07. Maintain the access sequence. The access sequence that I was looking for is PR02, which is the access sequence for the PR00 condition type. And going to the access, we have 4 different tables. Yeah. 305, 306. 306 had 2 line items, one without requirement and the other one with requirement. Foreign currency document. And the 4th one is 304. 306. 305. I think the first table. 306 with 2 entries. One without requirement. The other with 3 copy requirement 3. And the last one is 304. What is the difference between the second and third access in access sequence PR03? Yeah, difference is they have different requirements, and how this requirement is going to be used, I'm not sure. Maybe let's check this requirement. Go to info. This is an example of pricing requirement. This requirement is met if the sales document currency differ from the company code currency. In the sales document, the company code is derived based on the sales organization. This requirement can be assigned to an access level in access sequence to add performance when pricing condition records are maintained in the foreign or house currency. So which means that this table number will be then used in both no foreign currency, and if we have a foreign currency, it will still take a better priority to the material with release. Okay, which means that for example, we sell something from Germany, but we sell it to Switzerland, for example. There could be a discrepancy in the currency from euro to franc, and yeah, even though it has a different currency, we are still using this price list category with currency for the condition type instead of using the material. That is what I can explain for now. But more to that, I think, to the solution. I hope that they can explain it better than me. We will see. For the first part, yeah. How can you control whether a condition is determined during automatic pricing or whether the condition is entered manually? So they tell us to go to pricing control, define pricing considers. Okay. So it's not simply inside the pricing procedure itself, it also based on the pricing procedure. Okay, let's just also go to check what the exercise is going to tell us. Or SPRO, I will go to sales and distribution. Set pricing procedures. I will select the RV0001 and we check the control. I think the price, no, it's not manual only. Yeah. So depends also on the condition here, whether it's been manual or not. In the condition type setting, it means that it can be entered manually. In the pricing procedure, it tells you whether this condition is manual only, or should it be taken automatically from the pricing procedure. Yeah, okay. It might be a misunderstanding the context, but yeah, since it's not telling anything, I was thinking that whether to check if a condition is entered manually in a sales order or not. As I said, you can go to analysis and go to double click on conditions, item data, and you see that whether the item condition has been entered manually or automatic. how to configure the cont so it no longer be edited manually. I think you will need to find the manual entries. If there are no entries selected for, there's no restrictions. Okay, you can change it to D, which means that you can no longer be able to change the condition type. Oh, just a minute. I need to stop the cleaning machine, otherwise it'll be too loud for now. I'm not finishing my live stream. Yeah, either C or is A with no limitation, or we can limit it to D. It's not possible to edit it manually. The access sequence that PR0 is using is PR02. The condition table is 564. The difference is that the document fields for the two access are different. In the access 20, the document currency is this one, which is the source field for the access. In the access 30, the document currency is the local currency. Moreover, the access 30 is performed only when there's a foreign currency document. This requirement improves the performance by eliminating the unnecessary accesses. Why I can see the document currency. Where can I check that? I think in the access sequence. PR02. Now we have two different tables. If I select the first one, all the field we have the document currency. This is Währung, I think, Währung. And for the second table, 306, but with this requirement. Yeah, I think they still use this. The document field, which is HVAER, the local currency, instead of the document currency. Okay, so this is a difference. Even though it's the same table, it doesn't mean that the field being used are the same. But since they still having different requirement, then regarding this, instead of checking the documentation, let's check also the backend code. I think they have a conditioned check if this not equal, then is true. Yeah, really simple one. It just simply check whether the local currency is different to the document currency or not. Yeah, I think it could be the only condition check that this requirement have for this table number to be selected during the pricing procedure. All right, I think that could be it for today. We have gone through the 7 exercise within 3 hours from 9:30 to 12:30. I really hope that you have learned something new today. For me, I think quite, even though that I have already known a couple of topics, but doing the exercise is really refreshing the memories, the knowledge, as well as the couple of things that I have not known. For example, the header conditions with the condition group, which is really important for me to be prepared for the next upcoming projects. All right, then I think I will be closing the live stream for now. That I hope that you did learn something new. If you have any questions afterwards, let me know in the comment down below. I will find some time to help you with that. And If you like the content that I'm preparing, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel so that I have more motivation building the channel. As well as if you want to support me, you can also go to the coffee link which I have given in the channel description and support me with a coffee, 1, 2, or whatever reasonable to you. I could highly appreciate it. And as always, let me know what are your thoughts, what are your feedback, what you need, and I will try to find some time help you with that. So thanks very much and see you in the next one. Bye.